This question came from Kyle, who lives somewhere that gets a lot of snow. Like the kind of snow where your front door disappears and your car becomes a mysterious white lump. Kyle was tired of shoveling. He was tired of scraping. He was tired of back pain, cold fingers, and accidentally launching ice into his own face. So one day, while standing knee-deep in winter misery, Kyle had a thought. What if I just burned it all? A flamethrower, the ultimate snow removal tool. At first glance, it seems like a brilliant idea. Fire melts ice. Ice becomes water. Water flows away. Boom. Problem solved, right? Well, not exactly. Let's start with the basics. To melt snow, you need energy. Specifically, 334,000 joules per kilogram just to turn it from ice to water. That doesn't include warming it up to that point, just the actual melting. So, let's say you've got 1,000 kilograms of snow on your driveway. That's 1 metric ton, or as Canadians call it, a light dusting. To melt that, you need about 334 million joules. That's the energy equivalent of running a microwave for 90 hours, or punching a brick wall 1.2 million times. Please don't test that. Now, flamethrowers do produce a lot of heat. Depending on the model, they burn fuel at about 2,000 degrees Celsius, and they can push out a literal wall of fire. So, yes, technically it works. Flamethrower meets snow, snow melts. But here's where things get a little inconvenient. See, fire doesn't just melt snow. It also melts plastic, like your trash bins, and your siding, and maybe even your car. And it turns out snow doesn't just disappear. It becomes water, steamy, boiling, splattering water. So, if you're standing too close, congratulations. Now you're wet and on fire. Nice going, Kyle. Oh, and let's not forget the smoke. Burning fuel in your driveway releases carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, unburned hydrocarbons, and a smell that tells all your neighbors that you have lost your mind, which you kind of have. Because here's the best part. If you actually succeed, if you melt all the snow, that water doesn't go away. It just refreezes. Now, instead of snow, you've got a sheet of glossy black ice, a perfect skating rink. For cars. In other words, you just upgraded from annoying snow to insurance claim waiting to happen. But let's say you're undeterred. Let's say you don't care about your driveway, your neighbors, or your rapidly increasing criminal record. There's still one more problem. Flamethrowers, despite how fun they look, are not legal everywhere. In some places, you need a license. In others, they're classified as weapons. And in most neighborhoods, you'll get at least one visit from the police and probably a second one from the fire department. And if your insurance company finds out, you better hope you enjoy camping because your house is about to be uninsured. So, what's the alternative? Well, you could use a shovel. I know, boring. It's hard, cold, and not remotely explosive. Or you could buy a snowblower. They're loud, obnoxious, and only slightly less dangerous than setting your driveway on fire. But they have one huge advantage. They don't come with jail time. So in the end, Kyle gave up on the flamethrower, mostly because it exploded in his shed. He bought a snowblower, and he still complains every winter. But at least now his neighbors wave at him instead of calling the cops. And that's the story of why you shouldn't fight fire with frost, or frost with fire, or anything with a flamethrower.